Cloud9. There we go. My mic's hot now. Welcome back to the LCS for Game 2 of the day, Optic Gaming. Before we get into that matchup, the most important segment of the day.
Oh, yeah. Vi, baby.
That's right. Vi's back. Kobe and I want to break down a jungler who might find her way into the LCS. Vi, we got both of our fingers crossed.
Yeah, we're really hoping so. Both of us love this champion. I main this champion season 4, 5, 6. First champion I ever hit Masters on.
Full disclosure, we are total fanboys of Vi. I as well have mained her since the beginning of my league days, all the way back season 2, 3. So, given that we love Vi, we're going to find a way for her to make it into the LCS. Kobe, what are the most important changes to highlight? Because she was hit with a slew of changes, but only some of them are kind of what push her into maybe viability here.
Right. So previously, everybody was playing, full damage lethality Vi. The changes boosted a lot of her survivability. So the shield that you get from your passive is going to go from 10% of your HP to 15% of maximum HP. Plus, the cooldown is reduced by 3 seconds every time you proc denting blows. Those are some of the most important changes because it really means the attack speed and getting your auto attack resets are important in your survivability as well as your damage.
Of course, her ultimate as well got buffed just a little bit. You're doing full damage to everyone you pass through and 0.5-second increase on the knockup for every target that you do hit along the way. That's some incidental CC that never hurts.
It makes her way better for team fighting. And that's why we think that with some more survivability, some stronger team fighting, she might make her way back into the pro scene here. Her solo queue win rate is definitely through the roof. Almost 55% right now.
Yeah,
so.
Second highest behind Udyr of all champions. No surprise since Jat's over there on the balanced team. Let's talk about runes and builds, though, for Vi, because within a lot of those win rates, even in solo queue itself, there's some disagreement on how best to build her.
And I think that the disagreement comes from a very healthy place. She has 2 good options, Hail of Blades and Aftershock as far as the Keystone Runes that you're going to want to take. Me personally, I prefer Hail of Blades because I play solo queue and I play for snowballing early. In a 1v1 scenario or where the map is spread out, Hail of Blades with the extra attack speed, not only does it get you your denting blows much quicker, it helps you chase down early kills to snowball the game, fund your Trinity Force, and really get your item build going.
Even in the secondaries, I personally love the precision tree. I go for that Triumph and Alacrity. I know you're a big fan of the magical boots, though.
I definitely am. And that's going to be in our second set here that we show with Aftershock. Wow, the Triumph is amazing. You get your heal back when you kill people. You get even more money for yourselves. For secondaries, for inspiration, the bonuses to me, magical boots come in for free. You skip that 300 gold early game pocket that you're going to have to spend, and you actually get your warrior very quickly. That is a huge power spike. Jungle items are very efficient. Plus, Futures Market helps you get to your Trinity Force.
Even faster.
The perfect item for Vi, extremely fast. And of course here, where we're going to talk about the team fighting for Aftershock. This is the other keystone. This is what you want to take in pro play, probably all of the time, because they're going to have much more 5-on-5 scenarios. Also, in solo queue, if you have a team fighting team comp, you expect to be in 5-on-5 scenarios where you're going to need that resistance.
That extra survivability and tankiness is all important, especially when it comes to organized play. Let's get to the fun part. Kobe, head on over to the BFTS station. He's going to show us just a couple of Vi mechanics. I will admit, she's not the most mechanically difficult champion to play, but there are a few key things that you want to keep in mind when you're playing Vi. Oh, we got to log in first. But while he's doing that, I think one thing we'll both agree on is that maximizing the W proc is one of the most important things for Vi. And that comes from both her ability usage, as she will get a stack from her Q, E, or ult, but also from weaving in those autos.
All right, so we're going to give a little example here, Vi versus Sivir. One of the most basic things is, of course, making good use of your auto attack reset. So you always want to get that auto in after your Q, then activate the E for the very quick burst damage, proccing the denting blows like you're talking about. Some of the more fun, tricky things that you can do, super long range, you want to flash and then go for Qs like that for full range. It's much easier to get full distance if you are going to go for the full charge Q, then flash, then go for it. However, if you get to really high skill levels and people are going to have very quick reactions, you're going to want to go for your Q first and then flash later onto the champion to be able to connect it there.
Yeah,
now,
you'll notice Kobe did miss his first one. And this is not to knock on Kobe, but as a matter of fact to say that it is one of the more difficult ability flashes in the game. And as you mentioned, it also will cut the distance short that you can travel by just a little bit. So while it looks stylish, I think we'd both recommend almost always flash queuing more so than Q flashing.
Definitely so, because it does turn Vi body into a missile, so as long as you get onto the champion model like you're seeing here, then it will work, but it's way more risky. However, if you want a YouTube highlight, go for that. The other thing, little trick here, is that if you are playing versus something like a Sivir or versus somebody who builds a Banshee's Veil and you want to get the ult off on this high priority target, it's going to be kind of difficult. And if you take Blue Smite, you can actually solve that difficulty. If this Sivir spell shields early, as you can see here, then you use your ultimate, you smite that off as you're traveling, and they won't be able to deny you that engage, which is the main reason you're going to pick Vi, trying to kill these low mobility carries, Xerath, Jinx, the like. Sivir's another good option.
Absolutely. So there's just a couple of the changes that Vi has received over the last couple patches. We're hoping to God that somebody's willing to pull her out here in the LCS, and we'll be tracking to see if any players do decide to do that today. We got to throw it back to the Battle Arena, though, to get into Game 2. Enjoy.
Thank you very much, Dash and Kobe. I think all you have to pray to is the Twitter account C9 Meteos Ego, and that is a good enough analog for this one. I think there's a chance. We are almost ready for Champion Select with Optic Gaming versus Cloud9. Do want to point out what lineups we have here with, of course, Meteos starting still for Optic Gaming. Nisqy is also back for Cloud9 here. He has returned to the starting lineup. Otherwise, though, same players, and we'll be ready to go. Champ Select beginning right now.
Yep, so we're going to get on into it. Optic versus C9. Optic certainly needing to pick up a lot of wins here if they want to try to keep making their way towards the playoffs. Cloud9 obviously already having locked their playoff spot, but continuing to fight for that playoff bye that they would love to guarantee above TSM.
Yeah, Cloud9 only head-to-head of TSM, over TSM 2-0. So if they are ever, if even a tied record would put C9 above them in the second seed. So that's going to be something we'll keep tracking as time goes on. Keep in mind though, C9, they did get upset by Echo Fox yesterday. They did lose that one, so they do certainly look mortal, and I think Optic Gaming can certainly strike while that iron is hot. That said, they did lose to CLG just yesterday and need to kind of step up a little bit here. But they are one of those teams stuck in that 5th through 7th sort of clump. Golden Guardians currently only half a game ahead of them. They can keep pace with a win right here. Otherwise, they got to make some really big strides during their very last week of play. Optic, a squad who missed playoffs both times last year, very, very narrowly last time around. They lost a tiebreaker back in the summer split. Would be nice to make it in this time around.
Yeah, it definitely would be nice for them. Also worth noting that for Cloud9, yesterday in their loss, it was Golden Glue subbing in for his first game of the LCS split. They are back to their normal starting 5 with Nisqy being in the lineup, so we'll see if that makes much of a difference here today against Optic, as Crown has really been one of the, I think, the big standouts for Optic throughout this split. And certainly they were close in their game yesterday, and Optic, I think, having a bit of a frustrating loss, the way that one did.
Oh, the Vi ban. Give him the chance to play it. Oh, well. There's the Vel'Koz hover. Crown played that yesterday, but still just flashed on him and he died regardless. Wanted to see the chance. Either way, he put the games on in solo queue. He even tweeted out that he wasn't sure whether it was going to be good or worth playing or not. Wasn't saying he was finding amazing success playing his high-level solo queue games, but he did draw the ban. And that's at very least something you do get. You get to take a ban that no one else would have to spend, except that Meteos put in the time, so a small draft advantage. They get their first pick, Lissandra. No conventional bot laners banned right now, so we'll see if the priority on Vayne continues, as Sneaky played it yesterday.
Yeah, he did play it yesterday,
also,
but it
what
did
the
not
heck?
Go very well for him.
Shout out Rapid Star for the best swag outfit of all time.
Did you miss the whole Cloud9 squad earlier was wearing their
I did miss
hats.
that.
Okay.
I missed that earlier. I was talking with Golden
Jack was
Guardian
up there.
morning.
They all had the green hats.
I was busy
They were looking
watching
good.
this amazing Vice segment that they got banned for.
Yep.
So, you know, unlucky there.
Yep, Optic was watching that too. Saw all these cheap mechanics Vi has. So like, gotta get that out of there.
Meteos might actually land the Q flash, so maybe pick that one up. Whew. Either way, though, Nocturne and Galio are in. That is a long-time duo. Jarvan, one of the other favorites here, but that is certainly a very scary backline dive composition. Yeah, be careful, Arrow. They're going to press R on you.
They definitely are, and Zeyzal has been loving the Galio pick ever since it has kind of come into the LCS meta. He has been grabbing it almost non-stop. This will be his 5th pick of the season on it, making it his most played this split, and I do think that it's so much more powerful when it is paired alongside someone who has an easy way into that backline, guaranteeing a strong ultimate coming in from the Galio, as you say, especially if you are going to grab a lower mobility pick.
Yep.
And we don't know if that is the choice here for Arrow, as you know, he could still grab up something like an Ezreal.
Like, don't play Jinx here.
Yeah.
Like, don't play Jinx. I think Vayne is actually very good into those champions. I think it's actually very good at kiting. It feels right now like Optic feel like they've got options. They can wait. They can stay safe. Instead, they show a flex jungle top in the Aatrox. We don't see a mid much anymore. Lissandra, of course, top or mid is possible. And so Optic going to kind of hold their cards close to the chest for now.
Yeah, we'll see where exactly they do want to actually put it. There's one Aatrox game this season for Dhokla, none from Meteos just yet. We have seen Crown play a handful, 2 actually Lissandra games, looked good on them. So, we are expecting this to be a Lissandra mid, an Aatrox top. Doesn't mean they can't swap it up, and the Lucian will come through here for Sneaky. So certainly stepping away from the Vayne, I think it's a decent choice, as the Vayne did not look very good for them yesterday. I do think the Sneaky struggled both in lane as well as having a lot of involvement in some of the late stage team fighting against Echo Fox, who drafted a monstrous late game teamfight comp.
So a Draven ban actually here on the Cloud9 side, trying to figure out what it is Optic's going to play alongside everything else. We, of course, know it's Lucian, Galio bot lane. That's pretty much the only place that champion anymore. It's a little bit of mid, but we kind of expect it to be Zeyzal playing that champion down there. So solo still left up for C9. They're banning away marksmen that they think are good into Lucian, Galio.
I feel like banning out something like an Ezreal makes a lot of sense as well, honestly. Banning out something that has a lot of safety against that dive, when you are sending that Nocturne and the Galio and potentially solo laners who want to dive in as well, I think just eliminating some of that safety is a good idea. Also, a lot of the kind of marksmen that have to get in there and scrap with Lucian are going to have a tough time doing that, so...
Wow, so banning lane bullies on the Cloud9 side. Of course, Yorick is up, and I'll bet you like 50-1. Dhokla wants to play that with that Jax ban. Thinking of other good Yorick matchups like Aurelia or Yasuo, but no, Zilean. Interestingly, a mid lane ban.
It would mean, though, that it would be the Aatrox that would have to go to the jungle very likely if he wants to grab the Yorick. So I do think he's just trying to protect himself from something that is a very good scaling matchup into Aatrox. We know that Licorice is also a monstrous carry top laner. Jax certainly something that he can bring out, though he hasn't yet this split. Akali was played yesterday by Golden Glue. Didn't have a lot of effect on the champion in their matchup. Certainly taking the loss there, but Licorice has shown this in the past. So has Nisqy, so this is a solo flex, making it harder to choose those final matchups here for Optic, and they will still have that final counter pick on the red side.
Okay, Arrow, you mentioned trying to go for something a bit safer in the backline. Ezreal was mentioned by name by you, and hovering back and forth. Looks like Ezreal will be locked in.
It seems like such an obvious pick, and maybe they're saying, well, we want to play for an early game style and be really aggressive, so that's fine. Arrow can play something that scales and is going to build double tier and be slow in the early stages because we're going to beat them before that. If that is the thought process, I get that from Cloud9, but it does feel like you've given them the safest marksman against 3 people who want to dive onto a marksman, and from that point of view, I don't like it, but we'll see if they can actually make anything happen. Skarner has gotten a lot of buffs. Not only can you not see when he picks up a Spire on the minimap now, so it's harder to track his location in pro play. Those Spires are absolutely enormous. You can farm every camp in the jungle on top of a Spire. Not only is it about that clear speed, but it also is giving you, up to 100-120% attack speed. Is a massive amount of actual dueling power, 1v1 power, so you cannot mess with the Skarner in a 1v1 on his Spire.
And look at this, Akali's moving into the top lane here as Taliyah is picked up for Nisqy. So Licorice going to be playing into Aatrox with this Akali here. Going to play around that as best he can. Of course, Skarner, the first pick in North America so far this split, so far this year, and of course can pull Akali out of that shroud pretty easily if she ever wakes up. So certainly some assassination potential is here. Lots of single target CC on the Optic side. A lot of playmaking and mobility there on the Cloud9 spot though, right? Taliyah and Nocturne both very good at getting to the side lane. Galio the same. They can win through Licorice.
Yeah, this feels so much about the side lanes here for Cloud9. We may see Svenskeren going mid early to try to get priority there, but Nisqy certainly wants to shove out the mid lane, get to a side lane, snowball Licorice, snowball Sneaky, try to get themselves ahead where they can really take over, I think, in the mid game, as this is a very powerful mid-game style composition that has been drafted from Cloud9. A lot of ability to be proactive, a lot of ability to be aggressive, but tons of CC also on the Optic side, and if Arrow can get to those late game stages, double tier stacked, he's going to be tough to take down.
Well, let's see what comes through into this one. Players getting ready to go onto the Rift. as Optic Gaming need to keep pace to move on towards playoffs. They're currently tied with CLG at 6th and 7th. They must at least pick up a win at some point before the season is over. Cloud9 still kind of racing TSM for that second bye into the playoffs, into the semifinals automatically. And they can certainly do it here as Nisqy's back in the lineup. And Licorice, arguably Cloud9's best player, and I think almost certainly the best top laner in the league, on Akali, recently buffed, ready to go and take on a lot on his plate. Summoner's Rift is ready, and so are we. Let's get in the game.
I'm proud of you for not turning and waving to the camera. I know you wanted to.
That's true.
I was expecting it the entire time.
Yeah,
as soon as they showed our backs, I'm like,
Yeah.
well, Freak's gonna do it.
Just looking over to you,
But
your
you
pretty
didn't.
face. That's all I wanted
Proud
to
of you.
see. I'm proud of me too, and we are into this one. I'm proud of the audience. I'm proud of the players. Everyone here is perfect.
Also, it was Freak's birthday yesterday. Be sure
That's
to wish
true.
Freak a happy birthday if you see him.
I'm 32.303 now.
Okay.
All right, moving on. That's not even, there's another 0 in there. We're gonna move forward in this one as,
Math's supposed to be your thing.
yeah, no, not
no longer
anymore.
proud of you.
My brain is decaying rapidly. All right, well, spoiler alert, we've got a sideline report with Pastry and Reaper. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Freak Reapid. After yesterday's loss to Echo Fox, I have to ask, obviously that was tough, but what adjustments did you and the team make today to make sure that doesn't happen?
You know, we never able to, we don't want to get O2 weak ever. So, you know, we put Nisqy and most comfortable roster. And also we put some like new champions in this game, but it should be fine. We practice a lot, so we'll see.
All right, well, best of luck today. Thank you again. Back to you guys for the cast.
Makes a lot of sense. If you lose on Saturday, going back to Comfort for Sunday, not only in roster, but he's saying, you know, in champion select as well. You know, very comfortable in these champions, have put in the practice. So now we'll see if that practice can translate into stage, because despite that loss yesterday, Cloud9 certainly has been looking very good throughout this split. They have kind of solidified their place as the second strongest team, at least in most people's minds. And
Yeah.
we'll see if they can actually maintain that going into these last weeks of the split.
Well, as we saw, TSM looked really good yesterday, so that kind of is up for grabs, and it can still be passed up, but you're seeing, yes, they're saying, okay, let's go back to the comfortable roster. Let's go make sure we claim that seed, and we'll see what happens, though, of course, as we move on to the semifinals later on in the split, because we know we'll see C9 at least in quarters. You expect TL to pick the not TSM part of that bracket, and that can get scary. There'll be a showdown maybe later on, but that's in a few weeks, and we'll get to that a little bit later on, and maybe even in St. Louis. Either way, early jungle pathing, and Meteos grabbing the thing. A nice flay right there. Gets damage on a Sneaky. He's ignited as well. He'll survive it, but he does not have TP. He will have to slowly regen back up in this lane.
Yeah, a bit of an uncharacteristic mistake there. I mean, Cloud9 not fully backing off when they were not going to be the first to level 2. So Optic hit level 2 first. They just straight up walk up, hook Sneaky, and get a lot of his health down there. We'll see if he can maintain. I mean, if you get hit after that potion being down, after getting that low, if you get hit by many Ezreal Qs, you can just be pushed out.
A quick skirmish there over in that jungle. We saw that Nocturne went for red into Scuttle Crab onto his blue, and it's sort of similar here on the Skarner side with Chicken's red and that Scuttle, and spotted the Nocturne, so the junglers are known. This can make the top laners feel safe, as both junglers were known to be bot side. Now Skarner goes the other half of the jungle, is leaving Krugs up, though those could have been cleared with that Spire, instead of clearing the left side of the jungle first.
Yeah, and it's going to be really interesting to see how these two guys do navigate that top lane. Optic certainly has not been playing around Dhokla at all, and Dhokla is a guy who has been prone to making some mistakes, and certainly has been picked on in a number of matchups, partially due to the additional jungle pressure that these other teams are putting on him.
Yep.
But Licorice is a guy that if you give him a lead, he can take over a game, and he's playing Akali, which is very high mobility. Trade in the mid lane goes on, but you know, it's very high mobility. You have the tools to actually outplay this guy, to dodge out those Q knockups from Aatrox, and to really make it very difficult for Aatrox to kind of fight back.
So we'll see these fights do come through. Keep in mind that, as you were mentioning, how little Dhokla was getting. We knew earlier in the split he was the isolated deaths per game leader of the LCS, and now a gank in the mid side. Nisqy has to play around this well. There's the route into the cleanse. He's still running, but nice flash. That was a good timing. Gets away from the Meteos slow, but double summoners down. Nisqy will have to walk back to lane the slow way.
Yeah, still great gank, honestly, from Meteos. He didn't expend anything. No summoners from them, no Predator, nothing at all. And now it's up to the top side. Dhokla here. I think he's dead. There's no way out of this one.
Skarner spotted. Fear Tethers in well range. The flash wouldn't matter. Gets the E, gets the auto attack. First blood comes through top lane quick as you like.
Yep, pressure up to that top side. Dhokla trying to reset this wave. He was shoved in, but Sneaky's now hooked.
He's got a tank in the front of him. He's going to be okay for this one. Nice damage, but it's not with Big in turret range.
Big.
Oh, he's ignited, though. Big damage on him. He's going to survive it, but this might be a forced recall.
Yeah, gonna be likely sent back to base. Does have a potion running, so they're staying around for now to at least try to reset, but you know, Dhokla punished very heavily there, trying to shove in the wave, trying to bounce it off the turret and reset it. You know, is up here, trying to get those last couple minions down. But yeah, I mean, Svenskeren spotted, but if you're that far up, you can't actually escape once you're seeing the jungler in that position. And I think intelligently he did not flash. You can see Svenskeren was running ahead of him, so he would get the fear tether still, even if his opponent flashed.
And now a chase down towards Svenskeren, has that spell shield on. A good lantern as Big has already roamed around.
Yeah, very well timed spell shield there from Svenskeren to try to actually block the stun coming through from Meteos. So holding on to that. And when he sees Nisqy coming over to match, they know they have to back out.
Okay, nice attempt on the CC. Big predicting a juke, and it looks like Nisqy was doing the same, but a walk in a straight line made them both feel pretty safe as that scuttle will be picked up and go to Cloud9's side. Overall, this game, they'll still only 300, actually now 100 gold apart, despite the fact that first blood is worth 600 over in that top lane. So good farming so far overall. And oh, a nice hook there as well as Zeyzal is just regenning back up.
And largely in part due to this bottom lane and that level 2 hook that was put on Sneaky meant that C9 had to play it pretty defensively. I do not consider Galio to be a very strong laning support, and that one mistake at level 1 meant that they were pretty far on the back foot. Sneaky sitting down 16 CS. Yes, there is more to grab here for him, but certainly not the position you were hoping to be in picking Lucian in this 2v2.
Yeah, absolutely the case. You do expect a bully, and that's not happening right now. Currently, Cloud9 also down that one summoner spells. They burned the Ignite and the All-In. Now Licorice not going to get pulled back in, but Crown's around. And keep in mind that W is on cooldown, so how much is going to play around this? A flash into the ult, into a lot of damage, and Licorice's flash into ult means nothing. Crown deals the lethal damage and picks one up in the top lane.
Yeah, Licorice a little bit slow to respond there. He actually hesitated and went back into the Shroud. I think he might have been able to get out had he immediately run for it. Instead, he's actually going to get killed off, and not only does he die, it's after he had already TP'd back. So unlike Dhokla, he does not have that summoner to get back to lane and pick up that experience, so he will fall behind here.
And that's actually a fairly important punish to put Dhokla back on equal footing. Both top laners only got the assists on those kills. Actual goal between the players, almost identical. It's literally 7 apart.
So here's this one more time. They're actually anticipating the TP coming in. They see that the wave is pushing, so Licorice, again, this is the opposite situation. He's trying to shove it into the wave and get it reset. And now he sees Crown, just now, I guess. So I'm not sure if he actually had vision early enough to ever be able to get out. It's hard to really tell, but either way, it is a trade of flashes and ultimates, and he still goes down. So Licorice, not going to be too happy about that one. Plus, when the wave bounces, it means it's going to be pushing towards your opponent. You are again vulnerable to a gank.
A little bit of wave clear out of Arrow, and yeah, Licorice did as best he could to play around it. His first E was mid-combat. He used his first ultimate when he saw the Lissandra.
Yeah.
They tried to flash ult away, but the last
I'm not
little
sure
bit of damage came through.
Either way, it was a good play from Crown. A really nice roam up to that top side, and they knew with the wave positioning that he had to TP back to that wave to fix it.
Yep.
And that puts you in a very vulnerable spot as a top laner, where you either have to make the decision to give up a lot of experience and gold, or to have your jungler or someone up there protecting you, and neither of those decisions happen, so he does end up going down.
A bit of damage here on this side is Nisqy just going to get the wave clear off, and these mid laners very, very close in farm. Crown overall slightly ahead, and some of that, of course, is the pressure on Nisqy from earlier. Made him burn his cleanse. His flash is still down, but now with Nocturne ult available, and Skarner the same. I feel like a flash Skarner ult guarantees that Nisqy dies. I don't think he actually has a way to not die as long as Skarner's coming from Fog of War.
Yeah, as long as there's not someone there that can kind of appeal for him or support him in some way, right? Maybe if Zeyzal taunts them off and they can't get the damage out. But I definitely agree, he's going to be a very squishy champion, and QSSs are going to be the order of the day for Cloud9. It's not just the Skarner ult, Lissandra ult, Thresh hook. I just think that it's going to be such a necessary item that Cloud9 will have to pay that tax.
Okay, well, here's the flash taunt. They've got all the CC in the world, and Big's going to drop right away. You've got Crown nearby. Does he want to go for a target? There's no flash on Zeyzal, but is that going to be important enough? Pulling does a little bit of damage, but Crown going to walk right back out. Nothing to be done for that mid lane play.
Yep, they were roaming on down, but just a couple seconds too late there was Optic, as if Meteos and Crown were a little bit closer, maybe they try to make that happen, but with Meteos out of range, I don't think Crown going in would have been advisable. Certainly wouldn't have had the follow-up there. So it's good play from Cloud9, and this is allowing them to actually start up the Infernal Dragon.
If they want it.
Back off.
Yeah, never mind. It's just him hitting it for the regen tools from the, whoops, Slight miss there. That's okay. It's not going to mean too much. The full Q is going to do enough damage, and yeah, pick that one up, no problem. Nisqy gets the blue buff, and is back for his mid lane wave, and looks like the health bar is actually pretty good for him. Throws another rock, and there's all the gold.
Yeah, we'll see when Nisqy is actually going to be able to get out of this lane, because certainly both these champions want to roam. It has been Crown making more of those side lane plays. He gets up to top side, gets the kill and the punish on Licorice, roams down to bot lane as well. So far, Nisqy just has been kind of stuck in his lane, not really getting out of there, but he is post 6, and you want to see if he can have enough wave clear to shove in this Lissandra and still get out to affect those side lanes, because if he is stuck under his turret, Taliyah is certainly going to be getting the worst end of that exchange, and so far that has been the case.
Pick up there, and waiting for these good trades to start happening then as the gold is back to equal, though Licorice getting some pretty good damage, forces the Aatrox ult out, and that was E into R, actually goes ult for ult, but I'm pretty sure Licorice's cooldown is much shorter, so that's actually a pretty good trade as you wait for World Ender to do so, and well, now this is Skarner. And Licorice, the ult's on cooldowns, so that's one less escape tool, no flash either.
Yeah, this is just Meteos coming up to make sure that he doesn't die as he's pushing in that wave. The situations that both top laners were punished in last time, Meteos paths up. He is there in case Svenskeren is sitting behind the Akali, waiting to jump on him when that ultimate expires. So smart play there from Meteos. They reset the wave, and now he's going to take that time to go over to the Rift Herald, while Cloud9 is now actually starting up this Infernal Dragon, so it's kind of the trade of power for now versus power for later. The Infernal will have more of an advantage the further you get into the game, but the Rift Herald could mean a lot of gold now.
Okay.
Ooh, that was pretty close.
Smite wasn't too early, so it wasn't going to be lethal damage, and they're just fine 300 dealt by True Shot Barrage. One thing I do want to point out, by the way, is that top lane turret lost a plate, but no one touched it. So the increased range for getting a plate for an assist was not there. So it was actually a 0 gold plate that fell in the top lane. Nothing went to Dhokla or Meteos for that. You can consider maybe they should have gone for it, maybe they shouldn't have. Either way, that's not going to be actually relevant as far as gold income is concerned.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see where Meteos actually elects to use this Rift Herald. He's just straight up channeling it right up top lane. So actually a big change from what we've seen from Optic in the past. They usually are not playing around Dhokla whatsoever. Now, Meteos has been up here a couple times. They have roamed up as well. They're going in, though, 3v2.
Taliyah is there. They're trying to make the big play. Naga comes through for Dhokla. The first kill's already there onto the Skarner. And Nisqy's pushed around. You got Crown nearby, but it's not going to be enough. Dhokla ultless. Gonna go down. 2 kills picked up. One of them even a solo kill for the jungler.
Yeah, very nicely done there. A good turnaround onto Meteos and Dhokla as Nisqy making that first roam count up to the top side, drops the ultimate. That is that semi-global presence that they were drafting for, trying to be proactive, and they are able to make it work.
Good stuff right here. Puts 1,000 gold in the pockets of Cloud9 overall. They have the lead now as they clear away some of these awards on the bottom side. That control ward not going to be kept. Plate going to be going down to the mid lane. Crown with Aatrox getting some decent work done there, and that's what kind of the punishment is. Of course, Nisqy can roam and secure 400 gold for an assist, but 300 back to the plate.
Yeah, so here this is one more time. They do get a couple plates from that Rift Herald, but straight on in. Remember, Aatrox had no ultimate. They knew this. There was no way he was really going to be able to turn around and survive in this. And by the time Crown arrives, there's no chance that he can affect this fight. So it is the 2 kills, traded for a couple plates, and then Licorice able to grab one before he actually went back to base as well. So certainly Cloud9 going heavily positive on the play, and Licorice working quickly towards that gunplay here.
And he's really scaling up nicely. Sorkshi's, of course, already done as well. Kind of needs that turn from Skarner. I think it's very correct to rush tier 2 boots against that champion. We have them from the jungler and mid laner here as well as we wait for Sneaky to keep scaling up. There's a pull back on a Crown, and if he doesn't trigger Aftershock, that's good damage that can come through from that Taliyah.
Also
gets a ward.
Worth noting, Svenskeren having his ult almost back up, and Galio is post 6, so they can look for that combination. You drop the Nocturne ultimate, Galio uses the heroic entrance, lands on in there, and that is very, very powerful engage. But that being said, the targets are really not that appealing when you're looking overall. Ezreal has a lot of mobility. Crown has self-ultimate and self-peel as well as stopwatch. Even Aatrox has the defensive ultimate that can help against that. So there's not really any super juicy targets for them to get to unless they are pretty far up in a lane and you have time to kind of train them down.
What feels like Cloud9's playing for, though, is not those 5-on-5s. They're going for the 2v1 where they flash follow if they have to, and they try to play around all the stuff that Akali's been doing. And with the 1-1-1 scoreline, the overall gold actually advantage 900 up right now for Licorice. So Despite the fact that Optic have been putting some time towards Dhokla, it's been answered so regularly. You can see now on that scoreboard, yeah, it's a pretty significant difference. And it feels like Cloud9, with the early Nocturne, always signed up to play around side lanes.
Yeah, and credit to Svenskeren having another really good game for himself here, sitting at 3-0-1, full KP. Yesterday, even in their loss, he was monstrous on the rec side.
Yeah.
Things were kind of going wrong around him, but he, I think, was a credit to the team and had a very, very strong game. And now in on Crown.
Lots of damage here. Waiting for the ult to come through. Gonna pop the stopwatch first instead. Ult actually already burned earlier on. It was cleansed right away, so there's one kill picked up, and now it is pulling him back towards his turret, but not a lot of place to go. 2 more on the board. Svenskeren 5-0-1.
Really nicely played there, dropping the Nocturne ultimate just for the vision denial to stop any potential TP coming in from Dhokla. He actually holds on to it until after they kill Crown, then uses the second activation for the damage onto Meteos, so that was fantastic from Svenskeren and Nisqy there, winning out heavily in the 2v2. You're now staring at a 5-kill Nocturne who's going to be on 2 items in a hurry. And really, with that lethal tempo, can probably duel anyone on the map right now.
He must have spell shielded Crown's ultimate, by the way, because it was on cooldown mid-fight, but I never saw ice, so that must have been incredibly good timing
Yeah, let's
to this fight
see
start.
this. So, in he goes. Spell shield,
I just never saw the ult.
Yeah, I don't think the ultimate went off, so maybe it was sort of a spectator bug there or something along those lines. But either way, you see he did hold on to the ultimate activation for the actual damage until after they had killed off Crown.
Yeah, really, really smart stuff there. But you're right, yeah, Svenskeren still had the spell shield UI on his health bar, so not sure what happened either way. Crown didn't seem to be able to ult during that fight, has it back up in a couple of seconds, but not just yet. He's getting run down by Nisqy. Oh. What a better trade, this Taliyah really coming on the line for the one-on-one.
Yeah, you have to be really careful when you're fighting Taliyah in an area that doesn't have a lot of work ground used, because when you're getting those full Qs with multiple hits out, if you're connecting with all of them.
You might steal it. Akali, E?
Whoop.
Almost. Timing was pretty close.
Good try, and I'll give credit to Meteos that he might have smited it if he thought that was actually going to connect. He did have a smite up, used it on the Wolves right afterwards, but it is Svenskeren now heading down towards that dragon. He's sitting on 5 kills. The Black Cleaver is completed. This guy is so damn strong. Yeah. He's sitting up 2,000 gold, the gold differential right there. Really, really big between him and Meteos.
Futures market has been becoming more and more popular. That's why he has negative gold. That's not a bug. Yeah. He is running that rune. It's been getting more and more popularity in pro. It allows you some much better power spikes. If you have a bad jungle path and you get ganked, you can still finish your items, finish boots or a smite upgrade or something, and just powering forward, has a Black Cleaver completed, and that second Drake's gonna be really powerful for him.
Yeah, and having all of that early CDR, you know, he's sitting on 30% already. He's already at level 11. You're gonna have those ultimates up so damn often on the Nocturne that it really does get very hard to play around. It starts to feel like the Nocturne's playmaking ability is kind of outpacing your ability to actually respond to him. So we'll see if Svenskeren can continually make those plays, continue to stay forward, as you do still have to remember yesterday Cloud9 was sitting in a pretty good position, and it was a huge throw around the Baron that allowed Equifox to take control.
Not sure they spotted the Skarner, but he tried to W in the brush to get vision. I'm not sure if they knew the flash still comes out though for Zeyzal, as Big tried to flash to follow him in, and it's going to be nothing picked up as Meteos did burn Predator but got no gank for it.
Yep, just the trade of flashes down there. Sneaky closing that farm gap, certainly, and has picked up the QSS. Paying that tax early on, I think, is smart when there's so much CC on this other team. But Nocturne ulti popped.
Fear popped in, gonna glance him right back out. They've instead turned back around towards Crown, who self-ults, but does not yet have a zone. As they look for the re-engage, the health bar is low. Svenskeren gets the flash kill, but he's been pulled right back into the turret. The shot's coming in, but not killing him just yet. Almost! Ezreal gets him. He's gonna walk away. Looking out, Meteos, very low health bar, gonna stay alive as well. Still the 1-for-0 as Licorice has joined this fight as well. The turret has been dropped down on the top side, it looks like, and not gonna pick back arrow just yet. The 1-for-0 still remains the score line as Svenskeren got his 6th kill of the game.
Yeah, so close to actually getting that huge bounty over onto Svenskeren, not quite able to finish off that kill. It was a good counter ultimate though from Meteos. Very quick fingers there to pull him into the tower. Not quite in range for that second turret shot that would have killed him. The Ezreal just not having enough damage as well. Would have been a big shutdown for Optic, but they're not able to get it, and Svenskeren, this rampage continues. So here's his one more time. Svenskeren sitting on the pink. They see Meteos coming in. Ultimate pop, denying some of that ability for them to respond quickly. And then just, again, using the initial ultimate for the vision denial, and then the second part of it for the activation for the damage on a separate target. Flashes in. Meteos quick with that ultimate, but not enough damage to take down Svenskeren. He gets out barely. Sneaky even coming in for the heal, and Meteos having to flash out as a result. That was TP down also for Dhokla there.
And Q's still up for the Lucian, even though he's summonerless off that play. Still gonna make him a hard target to kill, and the ward comes down, but no recall stopped. Tried to face check to jump over the wall. That's a Dire special, but he tried. Either way, mid lane still getting pushed in. Crown forced to wave clear against this Taliyah, who feels pretty comfortable.
Yep.
Has gone Hextech GLP, want to point that out. So a big slow, and it really makes it really easy to land your knockback, the seismic shove. If you hit that button first, they can't run away. They've got to use a blink to get out of that.
Yep, also a nice little bit of wave clear in addition to Taliyah's already very strong kit there, so we'll see just how effective he can be. So far, it has really just been the one roam that he has pulled off, but Cloud9 are feeling they're really pushing the pace. They're starting to get in the face of their opponents, moving up their vision, trying to take away more of these jungle camps, and they are preparing potentially for this second Infernal. A lot of damage being built up on their team. Anytime you have a DPS jungler, you're going to feel that much better about grabbing those Infernals, as it is 4 targets effectively. Getting use out of that.
Cloud9 to kind of tabulate where their leads are, because they're up just under 4,000 gold. It is all in jungle and top. And as we know, and we've talked about a couple of times, they're trying to play very much split push focused, very much pick focused of getting onto those single targets and killing them off. The team fighters, the raw team fighters, are actually behind Optic in gold right now. So based on how the game is played out, if Nocturne does not one-shot somebody or they can kill Svenskeren, that is the gold lead evaporated on that champion. So watch out for the individual performances of those 2 assassins.
Yeah, and they are going to have to be really cognizant of the fact that Arrow is going to be so difficult to take down in these team fights. He's already fully stacked one of his tiers. He is working on the second, just kind of starting that off. And when you get to that Seraph's complete, Ezreal just becomes so hard to ever take down. You have self-heal, you have slow, as well as the armor from the Iceborne, and then the shielding being added in from Seraph, which makes you a monster.
Ooh, that was actually the dash now used after he uses away, but
Meteos
Meteos coming, and Meteos does not have flash, but he can keep trying to run Galio to help peel for a little bit of time. They do stop Meteos for a few seconds. The taunt keeps him from running him away, but we've still got Lissandra for the burst. He's trying to stay alive. The shutdown comes through on Lucian. Now watch the backline here. He's feared. He's going to drop a kill. Svenskeren's godlike. Another picked up now for the Taliyah. Zeyzal finds the taunt, finds the knockup, and Crown will lose his hat as another kill comes through. Looks like advantage has come through to Cloud9. They've picked up several kills, 3-1 in that team fight.
Yeah, so many members collapsing there from Cloud9. It looked like Sneaky was caught out, was going to go down, but Galio ult comes through. Nisqy ulting in on the Taliyah. Nocturne flying in. All 3 of those members answering the call to defend their AD carry, and at the same time, Licorice shoving out bot, getting more of an edge there, and now going to fight up against Dhokla.
This 1v1 should be effortlessly easy. He's going to pop the ult, almost. One more shot. He's going to wait it out and then go for the dive. He should have ult charges, but Big's nearby. Will he still try? One more second.
Oh.
He went too early. A half second away from getting that solo kill.
Yeah, that was almost so sick. I think his second charge of his ultimate might have been expiring, which caused him to try to go over the wall. Maybe he still could have held on to the Q. Either way, he certainly played the 1v1 well, and it is Cloud9 first over to that dragon. Meteos could try to check, but they have no vision on this, and it's not going to be there in time, even if he were to head over. So a second Infernal going into the pockets of Cloud9. Going to make it even harder to deal with these guys. So here it is one more time. Crown setting up the trap, lands the Q into the ultimate. Q to follow up does miss, as Sneaky had the early QSS. Meteos, though, with the Predator looking to follow, just barely able to catch up and actually get that ultimate onto Sneaky as Zeyzal comes through. But then here comes the cavalry. Nisqy arriving, Svenskeren ulting in, and they're able to burst down big and separate Arrow from the rest of his team, pushing him out of the fight as Svenskeren walks forward, then comes back, buying time for them to finish off that second kill.
Ends up being more of a gold lead as it keeps stretching, and the money's coming to a couple of other people as well, of course. That's being spread out a little bit, so the team fighters powering up as time moves on. We've got Merlin Amokon now completed here for Nisqy as well, as he's individually in a much better spot. Now a gold lead over Crown by about 100.
And there is no TP on Dhokla. It's about to come up, but Licorice is just shoving up the bot lane. You can actually see him down here in that bottom lane, working on this tower. Well, it's 5 members of Optic that were worried about a potential Baron take, so they roamed everyone up. Now Dhokla is going to head back down, but we've seen he has no priority in that 1v1, so it's a tough situation for them. And Cloud9 does have a lot of strong members, but for Optic, they're going to be looking towards this 3-member top side of the map, trying to cash in on those bounties. A lot of gold for the taking there. 2,000 gold between those 3 bounties that they could grab to potentially swing this back to a little bit closer to parity.
Yeah, 1,100 in bonus gold, 900 for the kills. We'll see what they can pick up. If a turnaround can happen, Spike goes to the Svenskeren. Nicely done there, picked up cleanly, and still sitting up around this Baron. C9 have been one of the absolutely most vicious teams in North America. It feels like their playbook for playing Baron is really good. They know how to run it. They've exercised it well. Still some wards spotting them, but very typically, C9, when they try to look towards Baron, they get it within a couple of minutes.
Yeah, they really are so good at the vision denial. They play this game where they're invading into their opponent's jungle, they're denying vision, they're creating these pick opportunities and making it so scary to even walk forward, and now they're going in!
That's going to be a flash keep into safety, but as Skarner goes in, or sorry, Nocturne goes in, there was no time to be happening now. It is Meteos going for that play, and with the lantern! What a pick up there for Optic. That's what they were looking for the whole time, and they finally get it. Nisqy's gone. 5v4, it's now the chase. Optic looking for the play. Crown has his full kit available. What can he find? Sneaky gets the dash, and they don't yet get any kills. And Svenskeren, though, no flash, no ult, even Smite is down. They don't go for Baron, instead they go for mid lane.
Was a big shutdown, though, onto Nisqy, and they will be able to take this turret. You can see Licorice quickly recalled, wanted to be in the area in case the opponents did start off that Baron. Instead, they are just pressuring onto this mid lane, trying to get some vision back, and they have at least reestablished some vision in the area. They have a couple wards down that will allow them to actually get forward and clear out this pink here too, very likely. So Optic reestablishing some control, and here it is one more time. They make the call to go in on Big, but Big is actually able to flash out before the taunt lands and before Svenskeren comes through, so they have to get out of there immediately, and then Meteos flashing in, gets Nisqy, takes the lantern, pulling Nisqy to his doom. The chase continued, but did not result in any more kills.
150 bonus gold going over to Arrow, the mid lane turret falling as well for 500 on top across the team. And the game now only 500 apart. Sorry, 5,000 apart. Still quite large, don't get me wrong, but that lead is still just on that Licorice and Svenskeren top jungle combo, and they're single target champions.
And you do also have to remember that the Infernal, double Infernal 26 minutes in, is adding a lot more power. That is not really shown as far as the gold totals there, so definitely a significant lead here for Cloud9. They have had to pay the QSS tax. 3 members do have that item, but it is going to shut down a lot of the easy pick potential that Optic would otherwise have. So they're going to have to be tracking not only summoners, not only ultimates, but also the QSS cooldowns to commit to these fights.
Absolutely the case, and those are pretty long cooldowns. They're certainly much longer than the Skarner ultimate is itself. He's got a bit of CDR in this build. Kindle Gem plus the Knight's Vow built from the same. And we can see that tier stacking. It's past 500 mana now. It's not too long till Arrow has that Seraph's completed, as the Archangel's already done. Zeyzal looks for the front line, can't find it yet. And we've got just some time being bought. I think Optic, you want to wait till Seraph's is done. It's a big power spike. It's extra AP.
Yeah, and he's going to be really hard to take down at that point with Seraph Shield plus Hex Drinker as well in the kit. Most of the people that would be diving onto him, there is a lot of magic damage potentially here from Licorice, from Zeyzal and Nisqy. Obviously, still have to be worried about the physical damage threat coming through from Svenskeren, but you know, with the shields as well as his mobility, should be able to stay safe in a lot of these fights. The question remains, though.
Took decent damage. Zeyzal puts on the top, goes to the flash, finds only the front line is up against the knockup. They're going to burn down Big, but it will be a trade of kills. Both supports will drop a couple ults used. Here comes the TP, but Dhokla in the middle of the team. Crown on the side, looks for Sneaky, pushes them away. Big damage on Svenskeren. That's going to knock down his Guardian Angel. But yes, look out for Licorice on the Akali. Big damage, can't kill off Arrow just yet. Dhokla rejoins the front line, finds a stun, but they cannot kill Svenskeren. Meteos' days are numbered. Dhokla low as well. Arrow finds some damage, 1 for 0. Oh, a trade back as well as Licorice finds his second. It is another team fight that Cloud9 wins. Long-term 3 for 1.
Yeah, they get the 3 for 1. Crown almost able to take down both Licorice and Sneaky. He gets so many summoners, gets the QSS out of Sneaky there as well, but did not have the damage to finish off the kill. Very close to going 3 for 3, but it is Cloud9 with the edge again. You are starting to see, though, how difficult it is to take down Arrow and his effectiveness in these later stage team fights, as he was able to not only escape from Licorice, but then rejoin the fight again over the wall and almost turn it around. So here it is one more time. Zeyzal protecting this vision. They make the call to go for the fight. Flash forward. Arrow, though, very quick on the shift. That was critical. He does back out. They're able to finish off the first initial kill. And then Licorice sneaking down around the bottom of the fight as we have another engage.
That is a fear, and that is a death right beyond it. Big picked up, no Urgot even needed. And looking at the Mountain Drake now alive. C9 can look for the 5v4 with many less tools to worry about. Meteos around, again, 5v4. Dhokla coming around the backline as well. No damage for True Shot Barrage.
Yeah, and if Optic walk in, Licorice is poised to come from behind in that brush. It's down to a steal, if anything. I don't think it's worth even attempting. They're going to drop the Nocturne ult just to secure it. We'll see if they actually elect to go in. They're going for Dhokla.
Thresh finds a slow. They're going for the 2v1 right here. Well, they're just back up, but not in time. They find that kill already. In comes Galio, jumps right back out, ult committed.
And that is TP down from Crown as well now. So not only does Cloud9 have the power on the map, they have the TP advantage. They are heading to Baron. 5v4 right now as Big has just respawned, but it is a 5v3 on the map. At this moment, it's going to be up to Meteos to have some heroics here. We'll see if he can even get in.
His flash will be back up in time for this one, but Sneaky plus Nisqy pushing him out for this one. Not finding the knockup just yet. Down to half HP. Once again, Akali is in, turns back invisible. Can they find this kill on the side as he builds some space and waits for the squad to come back around? Now in towards Big, finds a flay to push them backwards. Arrow gets some shots in as well. Licorice very, very low. Crown trying to find the re-engage. Nice self-ult gets the kill. That was actually perfect. Sneaky finds the re-engage for some damage, but he's back in Fog of War. Control ward help. Svenskeren is low. Can he find the shutdown? Flash the way, and the burn's not going to be enough. They kill 1 for 1, and that is Licorice dropped for only the Thresh kill.
These fights are getting so damn close between these two teams. It feels like the game is sitting on a precipice here as Cloud9 still have a significant gold lead but are having more and more trouble in these fights. As Optic are completing their items, they're on the stairs for the Ezreal. The Maw almost now completed. Let's watch this one more time as Crown getting the edge on Licorice in this 1v1. Remember, Licorice had to blow his QSS in the earlier fight, so taking a tremendous amount of burst now from Crown and fairly tanking himself. Uses his self-ultimate here to actually be able to take him out. Expires right there. Out of that ultimate, being able to take him down as the Zhonya's did expire, and Svenskeren so low. Arrow not able to hit this last Q that would have taken him down, surviving with that 1k shutdown still there to pick up. But C9 slink away and no significant advantage, even though they started that fight with 1 extra man on the map.
550 bonus gold went to Crown for shutting down Akali in that fight. And that's going to be a really important spike for him. You can see how much damage he dealt versus how much, well, Nisqy didn't really. 12.6k, once again, the gold lead for Crown individually in that matchup.
And now Optic, if they feel that they can win these 5v5s, they can be the ones to start up the objectives to force Cloud9's hand to come to them and try to utilize that as a way to force these team fights. But for now, it is C9 with TP advantage. None of the 3 teleports are available for Optic. And you can see Licorice down in the bottom of the map, shoving up there, trying to actually draw members down and then potentially TP back to the rest of the team, or even go for some 1v1 pressure.
No, Licorice 3,000 individually up on Dhokla, but all he got to do last fight was try to damage Crown and couldn't. Crown traded him back, now has a death cap complete, so that is a very scary team fighting Lissandra, who is yet to build a Zhonya's, and of course has sold that stopwatch by now. It was broken, not useful anymore. The things to watch out for is Licorice, level 17 to Dhokla 16, like should find these side lane leads, but keep in mind, top lane true to his dead, unless he's willing to strike an inhibitor.
Yeah.
He's not going to find objective advantages down there anymore.
Yeah, there's not really any vision. If you actually take a look at the mini-map here, the bot side jungle, Cloud9 has no vision in that area. So it's very scary to actually push fully to the inhibitor tower and try to knock that down unless they have eyes on all the other members elsewhere on the map.
And they're trying with Baron. There is a small window where TP is down for Dhokla. It's still 30 seconds, and C9, if they're good, should know this number. So they can pull Akali in without Dhokla there, take the 5v4 with the long walk back over, and you can see as he's back in the Fog of War, there could be an Akali TP waiting, or just simply running over. They're not burning that cooldown just yet, but they're allowing Dhokla to walk over because they're not engaging on the fight. Crown not going to walk forward on that. Nice damage from True Shot Rush. Svenskeren, keep in mind, he does have that 700 extra gold on the bounty. Skarner walking forward, not going to find that play just yet. Now there's the push in towards Crown, but they're not going to find that kill. He's fearing away. He's going to stay alive. Galio drops him, but finds no knockups. And what a kite back. Optic burn out a lot of the ultimates and lose nothing for it. 4 ults burned by C9, nothing to show for that.
Yeah, nothing at all. And Optic now still sitting on those summoners, and a lot of the key ultimates still are available. Lissandra and Aatrox both still have theirs up. The TP advantage is now gone as Dhokla's is off of cooldown. So certainly Optic getting into a very good position for themselves. Cloud9 still have the ability to close out this game, but it's starting to feel more and more like the one yesterday, where they simply got themselves into a position where they could no longer team fight against Echo Fox, and as a result, they fell down.
And so they've got to find the ways to not just team fight, but find the advantages elsewhere. A team with, of course, so many more wins in the standings, and yet having a hard time finding their way in. +5 matches here.
They just haven't been able to get side lane advantages, though. Licorice, while he probably can win that 1v1, he's not able to find the time and the space to actually take that 1v1 and punish Dhokla.
Well, it feels like the advantages they got have already been cashed in anyway. As we mentioned, the 2 bot lane turrets already gone. The Drakes, they've got 4 of those in a row. It's just not the end game ones, not the inhibitor turrets, not the Baron. Those have been answered.
They really do need that Baron. That is what they really have been working towards. If they can get that, they can still close out this game. But if Optic can continue to stall them out at the Baron and Cloud9 can never kind of get that death blow, the longer you allow them to hang around in this game, the harder it's going to get. You have the full Maw completed now for Arrow. He's also on a stopwatch on top of Seraphs, on top of the magic damage shield, as well as a short cooldown dash and his flash being available. He's going to be almost impossible to take out.
And right now, Akali's Shroud is back on cooldowns. That is a window that can also be used as Crown might have even gone for that duel. There's a possibility that it works through the Zonias, but QSS, of course, makes that hard as well as you keep waiting. But Licorice is sitting here at mid lane. This is, again, not a team fight comp, but they're sitting there for the 5-on-5 taunt, looking for the flash. Oh, what a dodge! Dhokla jumps away in time, not caught out there by Zeyzal. That is flashed down. Looking again, not again towards Licorice. They have the option, they don't go for it. And you got Skarner, finds the pull, once again in the front line, looking for Zeyzal. He's very tanky. He's a stopwatch as well. Now into the back line, Licorice trying to find the assassinations, can't get it just yet, still dancing around, burning the ult a little bit, but Arrow staying alive. There's Sneaky picking up 1 kill on the Crown. That is huge. That is a shutdown. Now Dhokla loses the Guardian Angel. His ult just barely timed out, and they're gonna find that second kill. They find the 5-on-5. Cloud9 found the flank kill. They got the pickup on Crown. They got Dhokla afterwards.
Finally able to get that fight. They couldn't take down Arrow, but Svenskeren and Licorice putting so much pressure on him, it meant everyone from Optic had to peel back, and they were able to buy the time for their carries to get those kills. Now it is C9 onto the Baron.
Oh, and Licorice buys so much
Meteos
space.
does have flash. Can he get in?
He's invisible. The health bar's too low too quickly, and that's not going to be a pickup there. What damage! A goddess with the blade. Akali picks up 1 already, and now looking for Arrow. Guardian Angel certain to be popped, chasing him down.
They're going to get
kill onto
everything.
Skarner as well. They will pick off all of them. No way out for Arrow. Cut down right there. Extra gold to Nisqy, and C9 finally got the fight they wanted.
And that is the straw that broke the camel's back. Cloud9 finally able to find the edge they need. They get the Baron. It's 40 seconds on Arrow here, 30 on Meteos. They could potentially just keep pushing, try to even get Nexus turrets or end the game. It is just Crown and Dhokla up right now. 10 seconds till Big is up.
Okay, 5 versus 3, soon to be a 5 versus 4, but look at that one, Crown just being shut apart. He will self-ult, he'll buy a couple of seconds, but the burst's still gonna be there. It's still at best of 5v3 as these only support respawns. A bit of damage, 1 turret goes down, Zeyzal traded. Now can they answer? Dhokla trying to do his very best. Big damage on a Sneaky. Looking for Svenskeren, can't just quite find that. Licorice here as well, Lantern buys some time. Now it's up for Meteos. Can he find the way back in? Looking now at Svenskeren, spell shields a little bit of it, and now Meteos has to run away yet again.
Alive.
Look at the big damage now out of Licorice, gets played backwards, and now with enough defense, it will be a quick stalemate, a quick run back to base, a reset, a pickup in the last Drake, but still, 2 minutes of Baron buff, C9. You have to believe they're not going to be stopped here.
Yeah, hair's breadth from ending that game. So incredibly close. Here it is one more time, and you have to think this could be a great fight for Optic as Zeyzal whiffs on the flash taunt. Then they get the Skarner plus Thresh combo, pulling him into the team, executed to perfection. He goes down in a hurry, but he does get a taunt off. Then the stopwatch, he's able to survive for a long time. Licorice and Svenskeren force Arrow completely out of the fight. This gives the freedom to Sneaky to go forward, taking down Crown. Dhokla's ultimate expires, his GA falls out, and all of a sudden they have created the time they needed to get those kills. And then Licorice 1v3 on the side, dodging out on the hook, dodging out on the skill shots, able to buy the time his team needed to get that Baron and allow them to come back over here to grab these additional kills, grabbing the GA, and finally getting Cloud9 that game-changing fight they've been looking for.
Huge ups to Sneaky. The fact that he saw that Lissandra was down, no Zonias could simply walk over and take the 1-on-1, and he was absolutely right. Crown being out, that was one of the big carries there, and Arrow couldn't do the rest of it by himself. Now, this siege continues. Most of the members have Baron for another minute. 5 versus 5 as everyone's alive. Looking for the wave clear here as Crown does a little bit for it. Turret losing a bit of health. Only mid inhibitor is gone. It's probably the easiest one to defend. Pushing back Arrow. Good damage on the Sneaky, actually down to about 1/3. And that means they can't really defend this anymore. Onto the inhibitor they go.
Yep, and Arrow sold his GA, bought a QSS since the GA was down. He's trying to stay active in these fights, trying to survive. but that second inhibitor down. Minion wave is already there on the third. Optic trying to hold. Remember, no Nexus turrets.
Yeah, watch out for these as they gonna look for this play right now. On towards Arrow, the flash to follow. He can be feared, has the QSF. Look at the other side of this fight. They shut down Akali, that's one. Dhokla able to revive with the health bar of the Nexus. They just burn it down, and Cloud9 gonna pick up that win.
Very nicely done. Cloud9 finish it out. Pushing Arrow out of the fight is all they needed. No Nexus turrets there to buy time for Optic as they do get knocked down, but Optic certainly making Cloud9 work for it, as Cloud9 had a very big advantage for a long time, and it did get close. They were starting to struggle in some of these fights. They were starting to feel like maybe this game will stall out, but they found the fight they needed. They got the Baron, and they closed the game.
So that's a good win for Cloud9. They have not still yet locked that playoff 5. The only way they miss it is if they lose every last game they play, and TSM goes 3-0 from here on out, including TSM versus Liquid over in Week 9. So almost certainty. Of course, their fate's still in their hands. Licorice, smile on his face, got to play some Akali. Looked pretty okay doing it, got a lot of health, got that lead in the top lane. But Svenskeren, oh my word, what a play. The man right behind him did so much work all game on the Nocturne.
Yeah, he was honestly amazing on the Nocturne. Had another great game yesterday on the Rek'Sai. A really strong weekend for Svenskeren. For Optic, though, 0-2 on the week. Certainly a disappointing one for them, as both of those games felt within reach. It felt that they had their opportunities and they could have perhaps won, given things went a little bit differently in some scenarios. Instead, a winless week, you are now sitting at 6 wins, 6-10, I do believe will be their record, and they're gonna need to have a very strong last weekend to even have a chance.
Well, the last weekend for Optic is Golden Guardians and then 100 Thieves, and that last win, of course, looks pretty doable. Golden Guardians, they're only 1 game behind them, so of course you beat them there. That's gonna look pretty good, and I'm actually pretty sure they won the last time they met. I'm looking up the stats once again. Optic Gaming did indeed. I'm looking for it. Sorry, I'm blanking looking for the matchup. No, they did lose last time around, so it'd be a tiebreaker, but their destiny's in their hands. They can keep up with Golden Guardians. Tiebreak for 6 right there. That road is still alive, in control of their hands. We'll see if that does come through in Week 9 for Optic, but for now, let's send down to Page Time, who is ready for an interview with a member from the triumphant team.
Thank you, Freak. I'm here with Svenskeren after an absolutely incredible performance, giga smurfing all over the enemy team. What's going on, man? What'd you eat for breakfast this morning?
I mean, I think I just got set up for success in the early game. I got first blood, and I think Nisqy was able to really just roam around the map, just always have priority kind of, so made the game pretty easy, early game at least.
And then I ask you, easy game, and you cared, maybe not. What kind of happened in the mid to late game there?
I feel like we just never got set up really we weren't pressuring enough, so they weren't really too scared of stepping up for CS, and their camps, we weren't really able to just farm their camps and respawn, which previous games we were always able to just starve the enemy team a lot more than we were this game, so maybe they were good at defending vision, or we just didn't feel too confident in the game maybe.
And then, of course, moving into playoffs, I want to ask you about Blabber. What's your relationship like as far as you two go? Because it's likely you'll be sharing time in the jungle. Kind of what does he learn from you, or what do you learn from him?
I think Blabber is a super good addition to the team, because something he brings to the team is just like raw talent. He's just super aggressive, so if I'm kind of slumping or I'm not able to like find those angles where you kind of need to snowball the game, then he's just super good at that. He always knows like just go for ganks, and just always keep fighting. So definitely a different playstyle than mine, where I'm a little bit more calculated, I'll say. So it can shake up the team. If we start losing with me, then Blabber can like definitely change up the atmosphere.
Well, certainly not slumping this game. Congratulations on the win. For now, we are going to throw it back to the State Farm analyst desk.
Thank you very much. Pace your time. But what about the answer to the first question?
Right?
What did he eat for breakfast?
I think we could tell he's eating gum right now, right?
You think he's been chewing on that same piece of gum since he woke up this morning?
I
Go
don't know. He's going hard on that right
It's
there.
oatmeal. You can't be that slow.
Say, what is that, like
It's
some
your
big
lucky
league
piece.
chew or whatnot?
Don't throw it out.
The lucky piece. No, but a great recovery for Cloud9 after dropping a game yesterday to keep themselves in that conversation for the second bye in the postseason behind Team Liquid, still in control of their own fate. But I want to dive right back into team compositions with this game, because we saw yet another Nocturne, but there are a few very important adjustments here made by Cloud9 to ensure its success.
They banned Tahm Kench. That helps a lot when you're trying to kill a single target. And Thresh does not have the same survivability as a Tahm Kench. and doesn't provide the same security to an AD carry either, right?
In the other side, for Optic, though, the Tahm Kench is banned, so you can go with champions like Lissandra and Skarner, but on the same team, it's too much. It's bad. I'm just saying it's bad because the QSS itemization is way too effective. You saw 4 members of Cloud9 buy QSS, and now Skarner and Lissandra are just left with their pants up thinking, how do we do this? How do we engage? Do we have to stagger these abilities together? It's too difficult. Imagine how beautiful that would have been with an Orianna. You get the shockwave as well, with a Skarner flashing in, a protection help him out, a little bit more synergy, and you nullify the QSS value.
The other thing they did really smart in that draft was they saw the Thresh pick taken, but they didn't take a marksman with it. So on the last part of the first phase, C9 grabbed Lucian and then double banned the 2 champions that are the other aggressive playmakers in the early game in Draven and Kalista. So you have this Thresh stranded without an aggressive ally in the lane. They take Ezreal, which it's like, yeah, it's still a relatively strong lane, but it's not this snowball dive comp that they really were building their team comp to do when you have a Skarner, Lissandra, and Aatrox.
And of course, if we dive into the early reel or early plays of the game, it was all about Svenskeren getting off to a huge start on that Nocturne. It was already mentioned by him himself going up there to visit Licorice and the aggressive plays to turn that Akali Aatrox matchup.
Right, this is the second game in a row where he's having a monstrous game. I believe yesterday, even though he lost, his Rek'Sai was like 0-6 something for a large portion of the game. And this game, he ended deathless here with an 8-0-8, was it? Scoreline?
Final scoreline of 8-0,
yeah. Pretty much deathless again.
I mean, dying to a Nocturne pre-6 is pretty troll, though. Like, as a jungler, you're expecting the Nocturne to be inactive until level 6. And you're like, okay, if you're dying to that, that's fine. But early on, it makes it so much easier so that he can snowball just so well, because combined with the Taliyah, you're just double teaming anywhere that you want.
Yeah.
Right.
Him and Nisqy worked super well together over the course of this game, and then they affected all 3 lanes. Started in the top lane, went bot lane, and then when they were bot lane and taking a dragon together, they also countered top, and then finally influencing the mid lane as well. At this point, game felt pretty over.
Yeah, I absolutely love the utilization of the global ultimates. As soon as the Nocturne's level 6, let's get that Taliyah out of her lane, and let's go turn the side lanes even more into our favor. Of course, this will bring us to a top lane team fight, and we're going to see some of the struggles that Optic had in response to these globals. You can go ahead and press play for me right there.
And the thing about this is you see this Lucian alone in the side lane and you're thinking, okay, that's a pretty juicy target. We have Lissandra. He does have a QSS, so they you know, they're trying to play it a little slow and kite him in. But at this point, you're going to see this Galio ult start coming in, and look at how far away the rest of C9's team is. Like, the Ezreal and the Thresh actually have the inside track to collapse on this first, but with the global composition that they have, no side lane fight is safe to take unless you already have all 4 members there. And yeah, Sneaky does a good job cutting out. The Galio stalls out, keeps him alive a little bit, and then they actually cut off the Thresh and Ezreal on the way to stop them from even getting into this fight. So yes, Sneaky dies, but you've already won the fight on the other part of the map as well.
And this was only peered on because of the QSS pressure. You saw that Sneaky took a while. He's thinking, do I need to QSS this? Am I fine? Like, all right, whatever, I'll QSS, I'll get out of this. Oh, there's a Skarner here. This play looks terrible. Why are they going through with this? Like, all right, I'll take it. Whatever they want to do here, I'll go through with it because I know that my team is right here. Like, this is essentially the mentality that we praised Svenskeren for in the beginning of the game, knowing if I die, as long as the fight goes well for my team, it's going to be fine.
And he didn't die, and he's number 2 on my tier list, just so we know. These guys had him lower.
We had him number 3. I am so sorry to
Come on.
Svenskeren on that.
Yeah, you got to pump him up, dude.
He looked damn good in this game. Of course, the game itself from that point onward had a couple moments where it looked like it might teeter back into Optic's favor, but never necessarily spiraled out of control. It was just maybe 1 or 2 skirmishes for the side of Optic Gaming. But I want to talk about Cloud9 looking towards the future, because we heard that interview with Reaper very early on in the game where he kind of talks about the champion select and having that willingness to throw Licorice onto an Akali right after she's been kind of rebuffed into viability. But this is one of the teams that I've always felt has never shied away from experimentation, trying something and being willing to fail, even when, for example, their postseason position is not entirely secured just yet.
I think the balance that they have with the subs is what really allows them to do that. We heard from Svenskeren that if he's not up to par, he knows that Blabber's going to come in and he's going to be able to crush it. He's going to be the aggressive guy that can then, okay, I saw how I needed to play. I can get back on this horse. So it lets you have a lot more room to experiment with your picks because you know your play styles can mold accordingly. And so with Golden Glue, it's a similar case. Okay, you can try the Akali. Didn't work out. All right, Nisqy's coming in. He's going to try the Akali now.
Right, yeah, very much so. Now, we can't
Licorice,
overlook,
sorry.
though, the player that gives the setup for an important pick. Just to say, I'm helping, presented by State Farm. In this game, Big's Thresh Lantern turns a Skarner ult into sure death.
They're invading into their opponent's jungle. They're denying vision. They're creating these pick opportunities and making it so scary to even walk forward.
Like, they're going on me. They're going on me.
I'm walking.
Yeah, I'm looking to Taliyah.
Yeah.
Do you have lantern? Okay.
Yeah, ready.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
I can't see, but I have lantern.
Okay.
Good job, boys. Good job, boys.
Go.
Pretty
That's
disgusting
awesome.
combo.
Yeah, that's actually really cool. I wasn't expecting that in the beginning of the game, and then me and Crumbs were watching that, and they were, whoa!
It takes
cool.
2 champs to make an Urgot ult.
That's something people are going to try and solo queue.
Well, so then what if there was an Urgot also in that game? Nah, that'd be pretty sick.
Pulling everyone in
Right?
for like 2,000 units. To be fair, that almost stalled the game out and turned it around because then C9 struggled a little around the Baron. So.
I want to see an Urgot on the opposing team. Urgot ults somebody, when a Skarner ults the Urgot, and then grabs a Lantern. So it's like a zigzag. Does that make sense?
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, does that make
My
sense,
brain
though?
is trying to visualize
Right?
it.
Yeah, it's like, it's complicated, but I want to see
All
it.
right, Twitter, get on that for us.
Yeah,
Someone
get
play a
out there
solo
and
queue
do it
game,
for
pick
us.
those champions for us.
All right, coming up, Echo Fox and 100 Thieves aim to keep their playoff dreams alive. See who comes out on top after this.
The Cloud9 will have to pay that tax.
Okay, well, here's the flash. Taunt, they've got all the CC in the world, and Big's gonna drop right away. They're trying to make the big play, and Naga comes through for Dhokla. The first kill's already there onto the Skarner, and Nisqy's pushed around. You got Crown nearby, but it's not gonna be enough. Dhokla ultless.
Fighting. I'm full fight. It's full fight. I have taunt here. I'm going at Ezreal. I have stopwatch. I'm good. Ezreal flash. He's gonna be fit. I have all. Flash Ezreal. Go. We can win though. Ezreal's 1 HP.
They're gonna look for this play right now. On towards Arrow, the flash to follow. He can be feared, has the QSS. Look at the other side of this fight. They shut down Akali, that's one. Dhokla able to revive with the health for the Nexus.
Very nicely done. Cloud9 finish it out.
They said you can't upgrade a laptop, and they said you can't get enough power from a laptop. So we built a laptop that does all that and more. The new Alienware Area 51M is now the world's most powerful and upgradable gaming laptop, featuring upgradable and overclockable desktop Intel Core processors and graphics by NVIDIA, with a revolutionary show-stopping design. Welcome to a new era.